Welcome back to Headbangers Ball, where I've managed to track down the band responsible for one of my favourite releases of last year, Pantera, and the album under scrutiny is Cowboys from Hell. And I've been joined by Phil.
What's happening?
And Rex. Hello.
Hello.
Now, good place to start. How did the European tour with Judas Priest go for you?
Great opportunity, great crowds. Everybody treated us really good, and thanks Priest, it was awesome. Great.
Now, I understand that you've got a kind of mutual admiration going with Rob Halford. He's really into the band, isn't he?
Rob loved us, and if it weren't for Rob, I don't think we'd have got the tour, because actually the luck value of us being over here with Priest is very high. You know what I'm saying? It's like no one knows us here. We've never played here before, and just having the opportunity to play with Priest the first time out here is just great. It's awesome.
So why didn't you get to do the UK leg?
We don't know. There's something that's still up in the air. We just don't know what happened.
Me and Vince, our drummer, we have a modeling career, and we have to get back and do some photo shoots.
Yeah. Now, in fact, the Pantera sound isn't a million miles away from Priest at all. In fact, it's like classic heavy metal, but with maybe the hardcore sort of aggression. So a lot of people try and categorize you as a thrash band, don't they? How do you feel about that?
Well, I see when people, you know, when you go to a record store and you look for our record, our album is in the heavy metal section, number one. Number two, you know, we don't look like a pop band or a new wave band or anything like that, you know. I can see where they call us a thrash band and this and that, but, you know, what lies within all of us is like, you know, influences that range way more in depth than thrash, you know. My favorite band is like old Black Sabbath and stuff like that, you know. I'm into slow, heavy shit. So, you know, what we try to do is groove is what we do. You know, we try to write songs. If you say a thrash band to me, when you go see a thrash band, it's all 100 fucking, can I say that? All 100 fucking million miles an hour. And it's like, you know, it's cool for about the first 10 songs, but the next 10 you're going, damn, you know. What we try to do is make the crowd, you know, move to something. You know, we like to write groovy parts and stuff like that. So I think that kind of sets us apart from a thrash band, you know.
Now, you chose Terry Date to produce your album, and he's a very well-known thrash producer, as well as doing stuff like Soundgarden.
And very cute. Just kidding, Terry.
Why did you choose him?
For the fact of he's always had good productions on stuff. Soundgarden. When we heard the Soundgarden, now we were into it at the time, and we were gonna, you know, we needed a producer. He was on the list, and we said let's try Terry. Let's check him out. He came down, saw a live show. Apparently dug it, or he wouldn't have done the project, you know. And actually, we worked together with him producing the thing, and it turned out to be Cowboys from Hell.
Great. Now, Phil, you joined the band a while after they'd been going, didn't you? Do you think that when you joined the band that everything clicked into place for Pantera?
Yes, because I was chosen, and I wanted to be there, and everything we were trying to do evolved. You know something? We wrote together and grew together for the Cowboy album, man. We've been together about 4 years. We understood exactly what we wanted to do, and it was a mature thing, you know, and that's why Cowboys from Hell is our first major album, you know, on a major label, and, you know, with the tour support and all that stuff, because of the strength of the material. And the record company, actually the president's been watching this for a long time. Derek Schulman is his name, and he's been watching this for a very long time. He's always been into us, but always wanted to hear a more mature product. And, you know, if he wouldn't have thought the maturity wasn't there, you know, he wouldn't have signed us, but it was. And Cowboys is very, in our eyes, successful. It's at 100,000 sold right now in the States. That's pretty good for us, man. That's all right.
So coming from outside of the band, you were obviously able to be more objective. What changes did you bring about within the band?
I gave an injection of perhaps the underground, because I'm from a place, New Orleans, Louisiana. Drunkville, man, awesome. That's my home. I love it, and it's very underground there. Honestly, you know, everybody's like really, you know, that's you grow up and you have your first sexual experience, drink your first beer, and listen to Black Sabbath. You know, that's all you do in New Orleans. And you know, as far as an input and injection of a difference in Pantera, you know, I'm my love and my whole pride and everything, my life changed after I saw Agnostic Front with Motorhead, you know? And the energy of a good hardcore band or a punk band is irreplaceable, you know. That's why Pantera, having the musicianship that they do, as powerful and as well played as everything is, but still wanting to accept the raw energy of a great punk show or something like that, we couldn't go wrong, you know. And we just, you know, it's a hybrid thing, you know. It's of influences, and there's a lot of that coming out actually in the States right now, and I think that we're actually I wouldn't say pioneers at it, but I think we're really first in line at the type of stuff that we're doing.
Great, okay, we've got the Cowboys from Hell video coming up very shortly, but first you're going to see what Phil's talking about, because we're going to give you a taste of Pantera live.
God damn it.
This is one called Primal Concrete Sledge. From the way you live, and stuff that hell when there's nothing to do. I what I told regret. Feel the same in the guy. Come and be with me. If I just get you, mountain, man. Time of primal compensate. Yeah. A child match, but I still want to see you in the crib. All changed back into with a man. It's an evil way all stare. Come and be with me. If I twist at you, mountain, man. Time of primal trumpets of the air. Fuck you!
Yes, Headbangers Ball is still rocking away backstage with Phil and Rex from Pantera. And Phil, with Cowboys from Hell, you're several albums down the line. How do you feel about your independent releases in retrospect of the critical acclaim of the new album?
Well,
the first three releases we had with a different singers, like a different band. We're like really young. Instead of putting demos out, we put records out, you know, and put vinyl out, and it's like a totally different band with Phil. Since he's been in the band since early '87, it's been 4 years now, and it's been like it's night and day compared to what the old band used to be. So we don't like to talk about the old stuff because basically it is a new band with the same name, you know.
And all the fans that we have now, even including at home, that have seen the band since day one, don't even acknowledge the old days. I mean, it's like Pantera is what we are now, the Cowboys from Hell, you know, and that's.
I think you're only as good as your last album, and the last one was Cowboys from Hell. And
That's a good way to put it. Only as good as your last
And
one.
wait till you hear the next one, believe me.
Now, have you updated any of the old material to include in your live set?
No!
What song did they?
Well, that's irrelevant, but that was done with me on album, you know what I'm saying? So, once again, no!
No, that's a big no. Okay, now what have you found to be the advantages and disadvantages of coming from Texas as opposed from being in a scene town like LA or New York?
Okay, now that question right there, to answer your question simply, that's not the answer. It's an advantage totally. If we were from LA or New York, where the race is on always and there's a trend to follow and this and that, then we
wouldn't be the same band.
We wouldn't be the same band, number one, and we'd fall in line, and I don't think we could do any type of music well, I guess, but man, being from Texas and this and that, we have the advantage, number one, of the hecklers and the people that disbelieve, you know, they're going to sound like ZZ Top and this and that. What are they doing on the Suicidal Tendency tour? And we come out and bludgeon them with what we do. That's a full advantage on our behalf, you know, and we love it. Disadvantages of being from Texas? No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
I think it justifies our identibility, or if that's the word. It's ourselves. We're not trying to be anything else but ourselves.
There's no
you know?
scene to follow there. We are the scene, actually, man. We are
Very honest.
very honest, very honest, and we are, you know, we're the only band of our genre in Tejas, you know what I'm saying? And we got a great crowd there.
Good. Okay, now coming up very shortly, we've got the video to Cemetery Gates, and I found this song very, very interesting. It's not a typical death metal song, but rather a very... No, I know, but the title might lead people to believe that it was, but it's actually a semi-ballad, basically expressing anger that somebody died and left you alone to face the world on your own. I couldn't work out whether that was about a girlfriend or maybe your mother. What was the inspiration behind that song?
Well, a couple of years ago, I had two real close friends of mine, and they were guys. And we just grew together, you know, and they committed suicide. This real good friend of mine who committed suicide, and then right after that, Alma, I think my other friend copycatted it in a way, and he killed himself also, and, you know, and that was real rough. Anyway, I wrote Cemetery Gates in context of boy-girl, so it wouldn't be so, I think it would be disrespectful if I wrote a song about my dead friend. I just do, you know, I think it'd be, well, you know, my friend died and I feel sad and all that. You know, nobody wants to hear that, I don't think. And,
no, but it had a positive aspect to it as well. You were saying, you know, I'm going to carry on.
Exactly. Now, that's the whole point. You have to get through that. You need to get on with life. And a different significance with the song that I wrote, Cemetery Gates, is about a guy who has built his entire life around a certain woman. It's his best friend. They love each other so much. Real lost. Austin has no direction anymore, and he's just in total mourning, and he needs to get on with his own life. And that's, you know, it's kind of what, you know, when someone dies around you or leaves you like that, you know, they wanted to leave. They wanted to kill themselves. They wanted to be gone. It's tough to handle sometimes. But you're right, it is a positive outcome in the end, the Cemetery Gates.
Okay, so we're going to see Cemetery Gates right now, complete with that wonderful acoustic guitar. Yes, I'm still talking Cowboys from Hell, with those Cowboys from Hell, Pantera. Now, in fact, the album, it's a very diverse album in terms of material, and the songs have lots. The songs are all different in terms of pacing and so on. Yeah. Where did you draw inspiration from for that?
I have no idea. It just came out, just rolls out, honestly. A lot of times, not a lot of times, but you know, I'll be there, you know, when we're writing stuff, and I'll be humming this and that, and, you know, we'll write, but, you know, a lot of times I'll get there at 3 o'clock, and they've been there since 12 noon, midday, and have written this riff, and it's like, God damn, you know, it's like, let's just feed off of that. So I don't know what the influences would be, you know? It just comes out of it.
It flows, you know? Yeah. Like we said earlier, we're honest, you know, and we just let whatever we write, you know, apparently we've been doing this for a long time, so we just let it flow out, you know, and try to make the best out of the songs that we can.
Now, your reputation as a stunning live act has preceded you, I'm pleased to say. What's the most important aspect of your live shows?
Energy and crowd participation. A lot of bands are really afraid and real skeptical about people coming up on stage and being with them and stuff, and a lot of clubs don't like a lot of kids to get on stage and, you know, go ape shit and wild. But what they have to understand is if they're going to book a show with us being there, you know, they need to expect that we're going to get closest to this crowd than any other band, man. You know, we want them to feel like they can do whatever. You know, this is what they paid money to do and what they paid money to see, and energy and crowd participation, those are very important to us.
How did you go about transferring that kind of live energy onto vinyl?
I can answer that one. It's taking our sound that we already knew that we had, the heavy, real chunky guitar sound, and bringing in someone like Terry Date to give us what we call a professional sound.
Great, okay, and there are no love songs on the album?
Every song's about love, man. It's about love of brother and about love of life and stuff like that, you know. All the songs are written in a way of real life, pain, love, happiness, shit like that. It's all about real life, you know. And if I didn't write these songs, then I wouldn't care, and there'd be no love in me and us, you know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
to me, they're all love songs.
Right, okay, now Phil doesn't realise it, but I'm going to put him completely on the spot here. I've heard that you do a brilliant Mike Muir impression. Would you care to do it for us?
I need a bandana. Do you have a bandana?
No.
I can maybe fake it. Here we go, here we go.
I wish I hadn't asked.
Here we go. This is from touring with Suicidal for 6 weeks or so. I'm like an animal locked in a cage, and I'm full of rage, and you go and you see your friends with the NutraSweet and their Diet Pepsi, and you gotta ask them, say, man, are you suicidal with a suicidal tendency t-shirt? Do you want to kill yourself or something like that? And I say, no, I'm lovely. Thank you.
Wow, that's absolutely brilliant. And that's a great way to get us into the Suicidal Tendencies video, You Can't Bring Me Down.
You can't bring me